Okay, this is my list of first movies. First movies I've ever owned. The very first movie I ever owned, as far as I can remember, I was 10 years old. And it was 1989, and I got this for Christmas. So this movie was released in 1988 at the theater. And back then it took about a year to go from the theater to video. So in 1989, I was 10 years old. I got Who Framed Roger Rabbit for Christmas. This was my first movie I've ever owned. This started off my DVD collection. And then I ended up rebuying it on DVD. The second movie I've ever owned was Batman. This came out in the movie theater in 1989. I saw it in the movie theater in 1989. And then in 1990, the year after I got Roger Rabbit, I was given this for Christmas. So I was 11 years old. I got probably my second, as far as I can remember. It was a long time ago. But as far as I remember, this is my second movie that I've owned. Batman VHS. And then, of course, I rebought it on DVD. And have it again on DVD with the 4 feature. And then a year later, 1990, the same year Batman came out on DVD, I saw Ninja Turtles in theater. And then 1991, I bought as far as I can remember, I probably bought this by myself. This was probably the first movie that I bought with my own money. Ninja Turtles on VHS. And I rebought it again on DVD. And I have the rest of the Ninja Turtle movies too on DVD. And then that was 1991. And then I would have bought VHS for the next probably 9 years. Around 2000, the year 2000, I started buying DVDs. My very first DVD was Pulp Fiction. My very first DVD. Of course, I rebought it, the collector's edition. But before I had bought the DVDs of Pulp Fiction, I already had it twice on VHS. Pulp Fiction and the collector's edition for that, so I have it 4 times. And at the same time I bought the DVD of Pulp Fiction, I bought the DVD of Eyes Wide Shut, which was brand new. I think this was released in 99. I saw it in theater in 99. And it was probably released around 2000. But I bought Pulp Fiction DVD and Eyes Wide Shut DVD the same day. They were my very first DVDs. I bought them both. This was a new release, and that I already had. And then because my whole collection was VHS at the time, and these were my only DVDs, I ended up buying Eyes Wide Shut again on VHS. Of course, if I knew VHS was going to go out years later, that would have been pointless. But back then, everything was VHS. All my collection was VHS, so I ended up buying it again on VHS. That was around the year 2000 or so. My first Blu-ray was Terminator Salvation. This was just a few years ago. 2009, I guess. I bought this as a new release, and I just got the Blu-ray player, I think the year this was released, so this was my first. This was a new release when I bought it, but this was my first Blu-ray. People had, Blu-ray a few years before, but that's when I got it. That was my first Blu-ray. My first 3D movie was Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey. But of course, this is the Blu-ray 3D, and you need the 3D TV to watch this, so I can't even watch it in 3D. But this was my first 3D movie I've ever bought, even though I can't watch it. But it also came with the regular Blu-ray, so I could watch it just regular. My first 3D movie that I ever bought that I could watch was Jackass 3D. This is Blu-ray, but it came with the the 3D TV or 3D DVD that has the old 3D with the cardboard glasses with the the red and green whatever. So I could watch the DVD in 3D, the old 3D style. This is my first 3D movie. I know there's been a lot of 3D DVDs released before this, but I just never bought them. This was my first one that I could watch. So those are my first movies. These are my first movies that I've ever owned. And of course I started my video collection at in 1989 when I was 10 years old. I've been collecting movies for 22 years. So 22 years of collecting movies, and this was the first one. These are my first movies. And I don't know, I counted my movies in 2008, and I had, I think, 1,200 DVDs and almost 500 VHS. Half the VHS I rebought on DVD, so I have about 250 VHS that I just have only the movie on VHS, and I have about another probably 200 VHS that I have again on DVD, and then only a few that I rebought on Blu-ray. But back then when I counted, I think I had 1,200 DVD and almost 500 VHS. That was 3 years ago. So now, I don't know, I'd probably say 1,400 DVDs or so. But this was the start of my collection. So